If found alive, Morgan Nick would be 36 years old. The family's fight has always been for Morgan, the very thing that gives Colleen Nick the courage to get out of bed day after day. Forever grappling with the weight of immense grief.
I never thought we would be 30 years down the road and still asking the question, where is Morgan? You know, where is she?
My hope is that someone somewhere will tell the truth.
Forever fighting for answers.
Not knowing where Morgan is and knowing that she didn't survive, you know, what he would have done, as a family is very difficult. It's very heartbreaking.
30 years of missing Morgan. Half her mom's life spent searching, waking up worried, with a lump in her throat and a hole in her heart, stuck in this never-ending nightmare Colleen Nick calls her reality.
She's somewhere. Morgan is somewhere. Do you think there's someone out there who knows something?
I absolutely believe someone knows the truth about what happened to Morgan. I think that the man who died in prison obviously holds the entire truth, but I do believe that there are people who know the truth. And, you know, our call to action to that person is to find the courage to dig deep and find the courage to tell us what you know.
Please come forward. We want to bring Morgan home no matter what that looks like.
Morgan's younger siblings, Taryn and Logan, stayed with their grandma while she and Colleen attended a Little League game in Alma with some friends. They arrived around 8 and settled into the bleachers along the first baseline where they sat most of the night. Morgan resisted repeated invitations to play from other children until a little boy and girl asked if she wanted to catch fireflies.
She, you know, pleaded with me to let her go catch fireflies, and I told her that I didn't think it was a good idea, that I thought it was too late and too dark.
Morgan kept asking as the voices of criticism echoed in Colleen's mind, often being called overprotective. That night, friends reassured her it was safe.
Against my better judgment, I told her that she could. And she threw her arms around my neck and gave me a big hug, and she kissed me on the cheek and climbed down out of the bleachers with the kids, and they ran towards the parking areas.
For 15 minutes, they played.
They weren't out of sight. They were just directly up to our left, and we could see them running back and forth in front of the cars. We could see them playing.
As the game ended, the 8 and 10-year-old returned, telling Colleen Morgan had stopped by her car to empty sand from her shoes. Colleen picked apart that parking lot.
I even remember looking under the car at one point, thinking she has to be here.
Morgan was just 6. She was quiet, shy, scared of the dark.
She wouldn't have left the area. She wouldn't have walked off anywhere. I mean, that's something that I know about her. And so as soon as I couldn't find her, that dread set into my heart.
One of the coach's wives called 911.
They began what has turned into the largest search that the state of Arkansas has ever seen. They're the knights in shining armor. They're the heroes. They know what to do. I absolutely thought that they would find her right away.
The technology now at our fingertips wasn't even a thought 30 years ago. A local journalist told Colleen they would put Morgan's story on the news first thing in the morning.
We were so thankful, and that was 12 hours after Morgan was taken.
A friend programmed a fax machine to send out Morgan's poster.
Was faxing maybe 4 or 5 an hour, and we were just blown away with that we could get her picture in front of that many people.
The Thanksgiving after Morgan went missing, someone from North Carolina called, having found a balloon carrying her information.
In that moment, it gave us so much hope that people were seeing her face and seeing her story, and that if they walked past her in their community, they would recognize her, right? And she would come home.
Morgan Nick is more than what happened to her, more than a missing person. Colleen clings tight to the memories made before her daughter disappeared.
She absolutely loved being a sister.
This is a picture of my mother and me when I was born, and this is Morgan.
Her dream to be a circus performer and a doctor when she grew up.
She was going to take her little brother with her and have him play the drums for the circus, right?
Morgan had a joyful, spunky, vibrant personality.
Who's your sister?
Karen.
You love your sister? Good.
Also a homebody, sticking close to family and friends.
I like projects. I like parties. I love videos. I love Miss Schaefer, her teacher. I do not like work. I do not like recess when we go out. I love it when we go in for videos. I like coloring. She wrote this 2 weeks before the end of first grade, and 2 weeks later she was kidnapped.
Morgan didn't like to run or sweat.
She said, "Do you know what they make you do in track?" And she explained to me that she had to go outside and run, and she was sweating, and she was very upset, and she quit. And she joined Girl Scouts because she said they could stay inside and glue stuff. So Morgan's Girl Scout troop had matching t-shirts made, and she had her Girl Scout t-shirt on the night that she went missing. And so this is one of the shirts from another one of the girls in her troop, and this is what they used when they matched the fiber from the truck.
Every night, Morgan's cat slept nuzzled under her neck.
She picked out literally the ugliest kitten. It was just all kinds of colors. It was this little mashed up ball of fur, and it had these huge eyes. Morgan was just tender-hearted, and she loved creatures.
Like everything else she owned, Morgan named her cat Emily.
I always thought she would come home and that cat would be waiting for her.
Emily lived for 19 years.
When we lost the cat, that was really painful for our family because it felt like we were losing a part of Morgan again.
Colleen never asked to be the face of this fight.
This is from when we went on Oprah the first time.
Like Morgan, she was shy.
I got my education about missing children on the sidewalk in front of the police department. I just remember very clearly we were 4 days into the search. We were living in the fire station. I'm gonna have to change who I am. And it wasn't even a decision that had to be made. It was just absolutely, this is what I have to do.
June 9th, 1995, their family changed forever.
I get called the helicopter mom. I definitely lived in fear for a long time. I'm willing to do anything, to keep my children safe.
That fear, it just lives in the back of my head, and I can't let it rule my life. I won't let it rule my life. I will not let the person who took Morgan steal anything else from us. But we're smart about how we live. And some pages talking about Morgan and who she was.
Colleen wrote this book to help her grandkids process what happened.
I would say they have a pretty good reality of what happened.
She's worth fighting for.
She is worth fighting for. Everybody is worth fighting for.
She mattered.
If I stop fighting for her, everyone else will stop fighting. Law enforcement have 1,000 other things to do. It's our job to make sure that our legacy is strong. And it's our job to be a voice that says Morgan's life mattered. One of the FBI evidence recovery team people made this. Tells me that it's more than just a job, that it's more than just a case, that this is personal and people carry Morgan in their hearts, and that is really important to me.
There is this sort of weird cult following around true crime. How does that, as a mother, who this is your life, this is your reality, make you feel seeing the hyperfixation and almost obsession with true crime?
The positive out of that is that there are a lot of people who, are super interested, who watch these shows on crime, and then who take their own time and they go out and dig up details, and that has been known to solve cases. And so while it's strange to me that people would be really focused on watching terrible things happen to other people's lives, when you have all of the eyes of the world watching something, it can't be done in secret anymore. It stops crimes from happening.
She says we can all learn something from Morgan's story.
Be aware in our communities and take care of each other. Make the world a kinder and safer place. Remember to stop and chase the fireflies.
For the family, fireflies represent the innocence of childhood.
You know, Morgan loved fireflies. That was the thing that made her willing to leave my side that night, was to go catch fireflies. And when you just watch all these magical bursts of light all over the sky, it always makes me think of Morgan, and it always makes me think of the work that we do, how we're just throwing those lights out there and bringing people safely home. Fireflies have become really a symbol of shining a light in the darkness, right? That Morgan's heart shines on.
There was about a 3-minute window between the last known sighting of Morgan and the realization that she hadn't returned with her 2 friends. During the time frame of her disappearance, we're told many had their attention turned to the right side of the field, back to the parking lot where Morgan went missing, watching and cheering as Little League players ran off the field.